Nanton, and welcome back to Times Square today, where I've got my good friend Vishen Lakhiani here to talk. Vishen, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me.
So funny, you happen to be in New York City. We're filming, so here we are. You have one of the most unique, not only companies, but perspectives on sort of life, personal development, fitness. Let's talk about Mindvalley, man. How did that even get started?
So Mindvalley started right here in New York, just a couple of blocks down, actually. I got obsessed with meditation while working in Silicon Valley and setting up a local New York office for a Silicon Valley company I worked for. And I noticed that as I went deeper into transcendent practices like meditation, like spirituality, my ability to do better at work soared. Next thing you know is I was getting promotion after promotion after promotion. My bosses couldn't figure out why I was doing so well. What I was doing, unlike everyone else in my company, was I had a daily practice of personal growth, an hour every day just focused on personal growth. Stayed with that company a couple of years, and then I decided I want to strike out and get these ideas out to a larger world. And so Mindvalley started pretty much right here, 2 blocks down from Times Square.
I love it. Now, I've heard you tell a pretty funny story about how you went to a meditation seminar. Tell us that story.
So what happened was, I was at my job. Now back then I was basically calling up American lawyers to sell them on software.
Yep.
Now if you interrupt a lawyer in the middle of his day to sell him on software, you're going to hear more FUs than you ever imagined possible, right? So it was a stressful job. My life was depressing. I really dreaded waking up every morning. One day I got on Google, and I can't remember what I searched for. I think it was like, why does life suck so bad? Or Google, please save me. And I discovered meditation. I flew to LA, I took this class, I came back, and what this class showed you how to do is to go within and listen to the voice within. To really, so many of us are obsessed with the outer world. This class showed me that there is an inner world. Now, back then, this was during the time of the Yellow Pages, so we had to call every attorney in, say, a city like San Antonio, Texas, from A to Z. Now what I found was that rather than blindly call, I could simply go within, run my hands down the Yellow Pages, and feel an impulse, an insight on who I had to call. This simple technique of listening to the voice within doubled my effectiveness. And my peers, my boss, they were shocked at what happened. My boss asked me, what are you doing? And I said, I think it's called intuition. He says, nah, that's bullshit, but keep doing it. And so I started going deeper and deeper into this, and I found that this became the ultimate advantage at work. And so today, Mindvalley is obsessed with teaching people these skills that regular school forgot.
Wow, and now you are in Malaysia. You win lots of awards for the culture and everything in your company. Where do you begin? If someone's watching this and they have a company, maybe it's a little lethargic there, where would you say to begin with culture? Besides reading your book, which is incredible, where should they begin?
Well, there is, my new book is going to be called, tentatively, Extraordinary at Work. And it's really about not just how to improve yourself, but how to improve the space between you and everyone else. You see, when you're in an organization, you're really functioning like bees in a hive. There is so much necessity for collaboration, for communication, for trust, for authenticity, for empathy. And most people forget that. So we focus on productivity, we focus on what we learn in college, the skills that are emphasized, but we forget about what is often called the softer skills, the fuzzy stuff, how we relate to each other, how we create trust, how we create compassion, how we really ensure that as a group we can work together smoothly. And so much studies are coming out right now that show that, for example, the single biggest determinant of a high-performing team is their positive feelings. It's called positive intelligence. It's the ratio of time the people in the team are having positive emotions versus stress or fear or anxiety. But again, companies forget that. So what we try to do at Mindvalley is to teach not just how the individual can become superhuman at work, but to teach how to improve those spaces between us so that we are operating as one unit in the most compassionate, trusting, authentic way, and that really is what gives you an edge in any company.
Amazing. Now, you've influenced millions of people across the globe through social media. You've had hundreds of thousands of people go through your courses, but one thing I find amazing about you and your company is most people find success and just stick there till it gets stagnant. You continue to experiment in like every realm, and now you're even starting to build Mindvalley University. Tell me about this experiment.
So we started out with working on the self, then we started out at looking at improving workplaces. Mindvalley's job is really to elevate consciousness across the planet. Now, when you think of consciousness, you start to understand that elevating consciousness doesn't just mean the individual. Human beings are no longer living in the age of individuality. We operate as almost 8 billion cells in a giant cellular being that I guess you could call Earth civilization or the human colossus. And so these cells get together in units that we call the company or work, units that we call the education system, units that we might call a family or a marriage or a partnership, and units that we call our spirituality, our church, our synagogue, our temples. And so Mindvalley looks at elevating consciousness not just in the self, but within our families, within our spirituality, within work, and within education, and also as an Earth civilization. And so because of that, we launch experiments all around the world. We have people in 54 different countries working full-time for Mindvalley. We launch experiments all around the world, which includes building universities. We're now starting a school, an experimental school. We're starting an app to elevate spirituality and cross-pollinate ideas across religions. We are creating another app for parenting, because parents, when you become a parent, no one guides you to become the best parent you can be. So we look at Earth civilization from this much wider perspective and launch startups and companies to elevate consciousness collectively.
Well, I love it. And also you run one of the most fun events in the world. You run it a couple times a year, A-Fest. Tell us all about that.
So one of the most beautiful things about being human is really the fun, the celebration. It's experiencing life, and we think that we can't take ourselves too seriously. So despite everything else that we do, one of the biggest things that we do, and you've been there, we gather all our partners, all our top customers, the celebrities who endorse us, the websites that we collaborate with. We bring everyone together in this giant celebration called A-Fest every year, and it's all about discovering personal growth, but also connecting. It's about going beyond lifelong learning to lifelong connections between people who want to play at a very high level. And all of that information is on afest.com, A-F-E-S-T.com.
Awesome. Now I'm sure there's plenty of people watching this who want to learn all about Mindvalley as well. Where should they go for that?
Well, the best way is to go to mindvalley.com. All the information on Mindvalley, from our free talks, our free podcast, are there, to our solutions for business. It's called Mindvalley Mentoring. To Quest. Quest is the pinnacle of Mindvalley. It's these 30-day programs that close to 500,000 people will enroll in this year. 30-day programs that go deep into getting you to master everything from public speaking to leadership to speed learning to super memory. All of that is on mindvalley.com, and there's so much you can explore.
Amazing. You got the best in the world there, man. Hey, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Nick.
We'll be right back on Times Square today.